where do we all go, right? You're all sitting here in this conference room today. We're all going to walk back out into our lives. What do you take away? What do you need to do? The number one thing, we need to embrace automation. The truth of the matter is, algorithms and data can do things that the human brain cannot, and we can do them faster. It's just simply the truth. Most of my career I've spent in creative agencies, and this makes me shudder as a creative person, and it's still right. And we still need to do it. What rids the web of the lower my bills ads is actually delivering messaging to people using data and algorithms so that it is not prohibitively expensive, but it is still valuable. So we need to embrace automation. Number two, we need to use data. But I will caveat this with, we need to be a tad bit skeptical. We cannot just rely on data because sometimes data, shockingly, is wrong. My favorite example, so how many of you guys have seen About the Data, Axiom's site? Not very many, couple? All right, so what Axiom did, and this is a genius move, and I'm so mad that I did not create a company to do this. In fact, there was a little company in San Francisco about 10 years ago called Dynamite that was trying to do this and never really got off the ground. What Axiom has done, and I would recommend each of you do this today, About the Data, you go in and you enter in all your personal information. It's a little scary. They ask for things like your social security number, but it's Axiom, so they already have it anyway, so why pretend like they don't? They know everything you've bought for the last 40 years. You enter in the data, and what it comes back with is everything they know about you. Everything, right? You are your web search history. So, they turn it back to you and tell you, where are we wrong, right? Now, I loved this. I was so excited. As soon as it came out, there was an article in the New York Times. I went right to the laptop. I was like, this is going to be the coolest thing. I cannot wait to see what they have about me. Entered in all my stuff, and they came back, and they had my household income at $35,000. Now, I work in advertising, so it's not much more than that. But it's $35,000. And it suddenly dawned on me, that's why I don't get credit card offers. That's why I don't get a ton of junk mail. Apparently, there's someone at my residence named Marcus Ross, never heard of him, who gets like black American Express things. I have no idea who Marcus Ross is. The data can be wrong. Now, if they were to look at it, they would be able to see my mortgage and probably ascertain that I couldn't possibly be making $35,000 and be paying my mortgage unless I was also a drug dealer. But maybe that's the assertion, right? Now, they've said in the site, fix it. Tell us what's wrong. No, right? They haven't made it worth my while. Because now what, if I fix it, Axiom then is going to be able to say to advertisers, a la us, hey, this data was updated by this person. It's so much more valuable. But they have to share that value with me. I'm not going to do it because at the moment there's nothing in it for me. But as soon as we figure out and make this leap, it's going to change the way we do things. And finally, and I hit on it a little bit, but I wanted to make sure I didn't lose this, it's about the sequence. The notion of seeing something on multiple screens at the same time, related messaging, messaging that works together, is extraordinarily valuable. And we have to embrace this, and we have to do it. This is my favorite quote. This is Alvin Toffler. He's a futurist, and I'm sorry, it's a little hard to read on his white shirt. The illiterate of the 21st century are not those who cannot read and write. It is those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's the new definition of illiteracy. So we need to unlearn everything. Dan Wyden actually was speaking at an event, and he said that the one thing he did was every day he walked into the office and said, I have to approach it as if I know nothing. We need a little bit more of that so that we don't continue to have the same conversations 20 years from now that we're having today. All right, key takeaways. Let's make new mistakes. Let's talk about new things. Let's actually deliver on the promises that we have set out for ourselves and that we continue to trumpet at conferences like this. Let's focus on connecting the disparate pieces, not creating new ones. Walled gardens like Apple versus the Wild West. People like a walled garden. It can be nice, pleasant. Things work. Publishers, agencies, and brands must create value. It's not that we can, we must. And we should be paid that way. The days of delivering delivering things that are okay are over. And finally, we must never forget that we are talking to other people. Not targets, not consumers, just other people like us.